What's up, guys? So today I'm gonna be responding to a comment which was left twice, and I thought and prayed so much on how should I respond to this comment, because this here verse, 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12, it gets misinterpreted so much, but it actually goes a lot deeper than what meets the eye. So today I'm going to be breaking down that verse and explaining to all of you guys what it actually means. This 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12. I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. Now, this verse kind of sounds controversial. It sounds really like, what in the world? I know. But it actually doesn't mean what you might think it means. But in order to understand it, you must first read the verses that come before it and the verses that come after it. So let's go ahead and read 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 2. This verse right here was talking specifically to the men, and it says, for kings and all those in authority, that we must live peacefully in quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. So we can then interpret that the word quiet just translates to peaceful. So in the verse of 1 Timothy 2 verse 12, when it says she must be quiet, it just means she must be peaceful. Now, going back to the first part, I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. The word teach simply means, so if one person is going out of God's will, the other person should not teach the same wicked ways and also try to go out of God's will. Not permit this one person that's inside of the relationship to teach things that are out of God's will. Nor do I permit the other person to teach things that are out of God's will. The relationship mirrors Christ, church. You should not, as a brother and sister in Christ, try to encourage somebody to go out of God's will. Simply, I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. I do not permit a woman to teach, to allow someone to go out of God's will, encourage going out of God's will, or to assume authority over man. Now this part right here, or to assume authority over a man, that flies straight over many people's heads. But since you guys really want to know what the verse means, I have to tell you guys. Of course, this is the Old Testament, so it's going to be bold. The Bible is bold, it's explicit. Now for this part, to assume authority over, what that just basically means in the relationship man, woman, Christ, church. You see that in 1 Peter 3 verse 7, Proverbs 31 verses 10 through 12, 1 Timothy 5 verse 8, 2 Samuel 2 verse 1, 1 Corinthians 7 verse 3, Ephesians 5 verse 28. So we know that the Bible is telling us, okay, the man is the provider, not the woman. Solely the man is the provider. In order for a man to be considered man by the Bible, there are certain qualities that qualify you as being man. And those qualities are fear God and keep his commandments. Don't do those things, then you won't have authority. You won't be the leader of your house. Yeah, simple as that. And then we can see this going all the way back to Genesis of why. Let's get into it. So it all starts with that story of Adam and Eve. Okay, so God says to Adam and Eve that they can eat of anything inside of the garden except for one fruit, except for one tree. They can't eat off of that tree. But a serpent came in and tried to manipulate Eve and said that you can eat that fruit, you're not gonna die. And then Eve goes ahead, she eats the fruit, and then she's like, I'm still alive. And then she gives the fruit to Adam. Now I want you guys to very much so remember the actions that are happening to him. After she does this thing which God tells her not to do, she goes ahead and she gives the apple to Adam. So not only does she herself does something that she knows she shouldn't have done, she does something. She also goes ahead and she's allowing somebody else to do that exact same thing, which she knows is not right. Now, let's get back to 1 Timothy 2, verse 12. I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over man. To teach. Goes ahead and she allows somebody else to do something that she knew was wrong, right? She knew that this was wrong. She knew that it was unacceptable by God. It was a sin. And then she goes ahead, she says it's okay, and she allows somebody else to do that exact same thing that she knew it was not right. Now, this is exactly what 1 Timothy 2, verse 12 is all about.